to know that most of them generally are not going to hurt you. By the way, what the hell is going to happen? What's all the worst going to do is kill you, hurt you.
American Gun Dog, we like to feature all types of hunting dogs, but I wanted to see what hounds can do on bears. So I decided to contact the Division of Natural Resources and a gentleman named Kevin Bunnell. He explained that from July 15th to August 15th, there's a training period where houndsmen can train their dogs on bears. So he arranged this meeting with two houndsmen, Roy and Ernie, and we decided to meet up in some mountains just outside of Blanding, Utah. Gentlemen, we got a nice morning. We're chasing bears with dogs. Now, you're here, I mean, these guys are crucial to you guys just to help study the bears, right, these houndsmen?
There are certainly times when we use these guys when we have bears in campgrounds and bears in areas where we don't necessarily want them, where we'll call these guys and they'll go move them out of an area. And also we use them to capture bears and put radio collars on them sometimes. And we've got a real good relationship with the houndsman right now, and it seems to be working.
Not to mention it gets you out, right, Kevin?
That's probably the most important attribute of that relationship.
Gives you a good excuse to go find bears. Well, we're in a cool spot. We got a great situation. What do you say we go see what we can find before it gets too hot?
Sounds good.
All right, let's do it, boys.
I enjoy the dogs. They're companions, you know, your hunting partners. So you've got a whole pack of hunting partners on the mountain that all work together as a team.
What we do is we get in the truck and we go through a process of what's called rigging. And they put two of their best dogs up on top, kind of set perfectly on a high rise on the truck. They're chained so they don't go anywhere. And they are meant to sit there and smell a bear as you drive by, which to me is just absolutely mind-blowing.
In hunting, we're rigging with Sackett and Bell, Ernie's dog. They're older dogs. They're a little more honest.
We had two dogs on the rig. One was named Sackett, who was Roy's dog, very old, experienced dog. You could see it in his eyes that he was very businesslike and he had a ton of experience. So you felt confident with him up there. The other dog was Bell, who was a little bit younger dog, but had been on a lot of rigs and done a lot of tracking and was a very experienced hound. So very experienced dogs on top really gives you confidence in the hunt. You're driving along, and the tension kind of builds and the drama kind of builds because you're just hoping for the dogs on top of the rig to basically bark and signify that they've found a scent.
That's a good one.
Game on.
That's a pretty hot rig.
Right there.
After the dogs are out, you know, we listen to see where they go. If we lose range of hearing their barks, we've got tracking device, we track for them. Collars, they all run on a radio frequency. Each collar that is on a dog transmits a beeping signal, and you can locate distance and position with that.
The dog sounded positive. It sounded like a pretty for sure that we were on a bear, so I was excited. Eventually the dogs got off the scent though. It was getting late and we were already about an hour and a half in. We had to go ahead and turn back and bushwhack through some pretty gnarly country. A lot of scrub oak, thick scrub oak is very difficult to get to.
You didn't bring your machete?
Sometimes you end up on some pretty long hikes all day, leave camp before dark and get back after dark.
Second day, we get up very early. These dogs are all business. When they get on top of that rig, they are smelling. I mean, you look back, they have their noses up. They're constantly searching the air for any particle of scent that they can gain. And the dog loves their job, and you can see it in their face, man. They are driven, they are pumped, they are crazy to find bears. They couldn't get a rig until, again, in the afternoon when the sun was starting to go down. Eventually, the dogs got split up. The barking got more sparse and sparse. We got the trackers out. The problem with some of these bears, from what Roy and Ernie said, is that they run a bunch, and sometimes they just do not tree. We had resolved that the bear had gotten away.
Hunting the last few days, we've had a few good rigs. Run them, just the bears kept on going. We've got a lot of heat, so if you don't get them up quick, it gets hot in the day and the dogs just burn out.
Still positive about finding some bears. We knew the bears were in the territory. Decided to pack it up again and wake up and do it again in the morning. Stick around. When we come back, straight shooter Nick Seifert will make you a better shot. Harley and the Houndsman meet up with an up-and-coming legend of the sport.
American Gun Dog is brought to you by Benelli, Simply Perfect, and by Quail and Pheasant Restoration Technologies, the next generation in game bird restoration, and by Franke Shotgun, pass along the tradition, and in part by Lynx Professional Grills, cultured cuisine-inspired living.
It's been 2 days and hundreds of acres have been covered in the quest for a bear. Before we get back to the impressive hounds and their superhero sense of smell, let's check in with straight shooter Nick Seifert.
I get tons of email all the time asking for my opinion about things. Sometimes shooting related, sometimes not. I'm going to run through some of my advice and opinions based on your email. I'm calling them the American Gun Dog Quickmatic Tips. Here goes. Hat or no hat? Hat. Glasses, no glasses? Ooh, gotta have glasses. Unless it's raining or ducks are flaring, glasses. Autoloaders or over and unders? Tough one, gotta have both. Pumps or side-by-sides? That's another tough one. Gotta have both. Same goes for 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 410, 28. Gotta have them all. I can't say no to a gun. Sporting clays or hunting? Easy, hunting, always. Singles or doubles? Doubles, even triples. Here's a good one. Hunting or honeydew chores? Hunting. Flowers or chocolates? Both, plus some jewelry if you ever want to go hunting again. Pointer or flusher? I honestly can't answer that question. Hard point or great retrieve? Hard point. Ooh. First Amendment, freedom of speech, or Second Amendment, the right to bear arms? Both. Definitely can't have one without the other. Okay, we got time for one more. Republican or Democrat? Easy. Harley Jackson for president. Can't go wrong. Hey, if you've got a Quickmatic tip you want to ask me, log on to AmericanGunDog.com. Until then, I'm Nick Seifert. Shoot straight.
We woke up the next morning, again very early. We decided to hook up with one of Roy and Ernie's fellow houndsmen, a younger kid named Tanner, and he had a ton of dogs. He does it for a living. He trains these dogs for people. He really is intense about finding bears and lions. Roy and Ernie had good respect for him too, and he kind of brought a new energy to the whole hunt. Wrap it up. It was good to feed off that energy. We hadn't gotten a bear in a couple days. We have Roy, Ernie, and Tanner, 3 very good houndsmen, and we have these very experienced dogs. We had one rig on the way, and he could tell that this country was way too rugged for us to get out.
Keep going, Ernie.
He was smart. He kept driving. It was very tempting, but once you got out of the truck and looked at where these dogs were going to go, there's no way we were going to do that.
He said, yeah, if Tanner passed it up, there's a good reason. Yeah, that's why he kept driving.
Yeah, you don't want to go down in there. We parked on the edge of this really cool canyon, dropped down onto this bench. We saw perfect bear country, rocks overturned. There was a lot of water, a lot of good grass, a lot of berry bushes, tons of berry bushes, and a lot of food. It seemed like a great scenario. Sure enough, we got some barking, and we got some dogs on a bear. The dogs chase, barking, and you're trying to follow them, and then they get out of earshot, and then you have to pull the tracker out. That day it took until the end of the afternoon, basically into the evening, to find all those dogs and pull them out of that huge, crazy country in the mountains just outside of Blanding. The only reason and the only way that I would pull myself out of this situation with these intense dogs and wanting to find a bear would be my young daughter's birthday, and I had to leave that night so I could get back for the next day for a birthday party. Thanks again, buddy. Appreciate it.
See ya.
See ya. When we come back, the boys kick off the skunk smell, giving the dogs the best chance for a bear, and we check in with Chef David Olson to find out what he has cooking under the Dutch oven lid. The hot sun and miles of rough country hiking has given the houndsman an appetite worthy of a bear. Now let's check in with American Gundog chef David Olson and watch as he turns wild into gourmet.
Chef David
Yes.
with a big plate of bear.
I want to be called Cookie today
Why cookie?
because I cook it in a Dutch oven.
Like old school.
Yeah, old school style.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. Black bear goulash.
Goulash, that's what this
Ah.
is. That's right. It looked familiar.
German flair.
We got
Cookie
some
over there.
egg noodles and some bear.
It's basically bear, onions, and mushrooms, cooked in, a stock, a beef stock in this case, and then finished with sour cream.
Well, I plan to dig in.
Yeah,
Yes.
dig in.
The bear is underrated in most parts, and this is absolutely delicious.
I'll second that. This bear's phenomenal. What went into the sauce?
Good old Kentucky bourbon. So you just caramelize the onions, caramelize the mushrooms, caramelize the bear, deglaze with some bourbon, put some beef stock in there, let that reduce down, and then braise it. I braise it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours in our Lynx grill.
Low heat.
Low heat. And then right before you serve it, you want to finish it with some sour cream. And then stir it up, bring it up to a simmer, and then you serve it.
So when you say caramelize the bear, what does that mean? Do you roll it in flour or anything, or does it go straight in the pan? How does that work?
I cubed it up, equal-sized portions, seasoned it with paprika, salt and pepper, get your Dutch oven, got it super, super hot, sear the meat. So yeah, you're actually caramelizing the outside, you're searing it, you're getting that nice crust on it.
A lot of good meals coming out of the Dutch oven.
Tender and delicious. But paprika just really just comes and just adds an element all around everything, doesn't it?
Gentlemen, to the hounds and houndsmen, and of course the mighty black bear.
Nice job,
bear.
David.
Excellent job, Dave.
Excellent.
Had to leave that night so I could get back for the next day for a birthday party. I really got to see what I wanted to see, though. I wanted to see a new process of hunting and new dogs, and I got to see these very intense, talented dogs. I got to see some very experienced houndsmen, so I really got to see everything but the end result. I decided to leave a cameraman there to film the final result because Tanner and all the guys, Roy and Ernie, had very good confidence that they could zone in on one bear on the fourth day, so I left with confidence and went back home.
Today we met up at Tanner's camp. He's camped up above us.
We all met up fairly early this morning, about 6 o'clock, and we put some rig dogs on top of the truck and headed south out of camp, and probably not but a mile out of camp. The dogs rigged fairly good on a bear. It could smell a fresh scent. They headed off to the east, and pretty soon they was coming back. They made a great big circle.
They push it backwards, or?
I have no idea.
Come on, come. Shelly.
I started looking for a track, and I found the track. Well, they had took it backwards.
Yeah, right here's the track that's backwards. Socks, come here. Here. Come on, guys,
They're
here.
backwards on it.
Socks, come here.
And the dogs were actually backtracking on the scent.
Come on, guys. Shelly.
There you go.
It's the wrong way.
Tanner
Right here.
found the
Oh, there
bear's
you go.
tracks, which is just a testament to how experienced he is. Sent the dogs the other way.
We got a good bear race going now. I doubt we'll catch it, but
Yeah, well,
we'll see.
We can run it all day.
more with her, but there's one or two up here.
It was a pretty quick race. Tanner's got one dog that just smoked it way ahead of the other dogs, and we got it bait up in some rocks. It was pretty neat.
And 25 minutes later, the bear's in a cave. It wasn't a traditional treeing sort of operation, but they found a bear in a cave, which is crazy. And
Today was a pretty unique experience hunting, pursuing bear. Most of the time the bear is either caught on the ground or treed. I'd say 80% of the time the bear's tree. Today it went in a cave.
now, we had finally found what we wanted, right? A bear close enough to film, and this bear was in a cave. It's time to get the dogs out of the cave and away from the bear. When we come back with the dogs out of the way, it turns out getting a shot of the bear is going to take something more than our cameraman has, nerves of steel. That's where Tanner steps in. Welcome back to American Gun Dog. Tanner's about to have tea with the black bear, and all he brought with him is a camera, a headlamp, not to mention his experience and appreciation for this noble creature.
You can see him right down here. Yeah, you can see him right. He's right about up there, just standing there. You get to go in there and video it.
Obviously, if you're not familiar and not around bears a lot, you have some fear of bears, which I totally understand the cameraman's point there.
The cameraman wouldn't crawl in the hole, so Tanner crawled in there and got some close-up footage of the bear.
On that situation, I went into the cave with the bear, but I felt comfortable because the bear didn't act aggressive or offer any charging or anything, so I felt safe in there with it.
He knows his limits. He knows the bears. Some bears are crazy, some bears are not, and these guys talked about bears that way. So he knew what he was doing. He was still safe to an extent.
The worst it can do is kill you, hurt you.
Hey, hey.
So Tanner decided to take the camera from the cameraman and a light and basically stand 5 feet away from this big bear and light the bear and get a photo for everybody to see. It is very, very intense.
Most black bears are they're not a vicious animal. They're not going to hurt you. So by me going into the cave, I really felt safe with it. I mean, had I went in there and poked it and jabbed it or something, yeah, something might have happened. But I've been around black bears enough to know that most of them generally are not going to hurt you.
That is very intense to me that Tanner had the audacity to stand that close to the bear and get pictures of it.
It was a pretty good day. None of the dogs got hurt, nobody got hurt, and we got all the dogs back, so it was a successful day. Bear left unhurt, so everything was fine.
Come on, Beth. Okay, over here, dogs.
You know, a lot of people are against hunting with hounds. They think it's a cruel form of hunting. And the biggest thing is a lot of those people have never went and chased a bear or a lion or a bobcat with dogs or a raccoon or whatever. And the biggest thing for me is I'd like them to come try it. They need to come see it before they judge pursuing bear or even harvesting bear. It's an accurate way to kill bear and lion because you can judge the sex, the age, all that. So you can actually harvest more mature animals rather than other methods of hunting them.
It's a great hunt. I mean, it's very fair. For people that think that this is unfair on either side, it's a very fair chase hunt. You have a very smart animal in the bear and very agile and very quick in his own country, and you have very driven, intense dogs that are trying to do their job.
I hope that the viewers can see that there's a lot of work that goes into running dogs, and it takes a lot of time and effort, and it's definitely not an easy sport.
One of the main reasons why I really truly love running bear and lion and bobcat is mainly because of the dogs. I really like the dogs, love seeing a young dog turn into a good dog. So that's probably the main reason. You know, just it's neat to watch a young dog turn into something special or a real good dog.
Ultimately, what I got to see on this hunt, very, very talented dogs, intense running dogs, very knowledgeable houndsmen. They knew the country, they knew the bears, and they knew how to read their dogs. And I finally got to see on the last day the result of all this talent and all this hard work and all the hard hiking by seeing a bear in a cave, and it was a truly intense, unforgettable hunt.